The federal government recently released the 6th Intergenerational report. These reports were started in 2002 by the then Treasurer, Peter Costello, and they look at the coming 4 decades and economic indicators such as workforce participation, population changes, ageing, all those types of things. It's a really, really long report. It has some fascinating information in it, and I took out a couple of really key insights which I think are relevant from a financial planning viewpoint. So the first one is that the aged pension is likely to be around for at least the next 4 decades. And the second one is, that's good news, but if you don't own your own home, then living in retirement is going to be much tougher and increasingly so over time. So I've been saying for a long time that the age pension might not be around for Generation X or younger people because, mostly because the baby boomers are going to spend all the money before we get there. However, this report indicates that I might have been wrong. We can see that a lot more people are currently living on the age pension. Going forward, similar numbers are going to be drawing on the age pension, but a lot less are going to be drawing on the full age pension. And that's because a lot more people have compulsory super throughout their working life, and that adds up to more assets, which means they need less reliance on the age pension going forward. So this is good news. But the whole Australian retirement system has been built on the pretense that people entering retirement own their own home and don't have a mortgage. ASFA, the Association of Superannuation Funds, says that to live a comfortable retirement, a couple aged 65 to 84, need to have about $70,000 a year in retirement income. Equally, the current age pension for a retired couple drawing a full age pension is about $43,000 a year. So that is starting a long way short of ASFA's suggestion of what a comfortable retirement is. Now, if you've got to pay rent or a mortgage out of that as well, then that can be really hard. So the age pension is likely to still be around, which is great, but it's only really going to be great if you already own your own home or you've got some other assets to support you in retirement. So let's all agree that plan A is accumulating assets, paying off your home, as well as having some superannuation when you get to retirement. So the concerning thing is that the Intergenerational report shows that home ownership is decreasing across all age brackets. So owning your own home is and has always been step number 3 in our simple steps to wealth. Remembering that just because it's simple doesn't mean it's easy. So home ownership has come under fire more in recent years, and you see more and more experts saying that you shouldn't have to buy your own home, and there are other things you can do with your money. Now, primarily I think because it's hard and it's getting harder to buy your own home. And I acknowledge that the average home now costs a greater multiple of the average salary than ever before. So it isn't straightforward. But just because something is hard isn't really a good reason not to do it, especially if the alternative is a suboptimal retirement. I know my mathematically minded friends will come up with some assumptions and some calculations which will show you, there are better outcomes potentially for investing your money outside of buying your own home. And they're clearly right in certain circumstances. But a lot of years of experience and some support from the recent Intergenerational report and other government studies show that buying your own home and paying it off really does stack up as a fantastic financial strategy. And that's for a number of reasons. First is paying off a mortgage is forced savings. So that means most people will find a way to continue to meet their mortgage repayments even when things get tough. And many people, I won't say most, don't put money aside unless they're forced to, because it's a hard thing to do. The second thing is buying your own home is fantastic from a capital gains tax viewpoint, because when you go to sell it, it may be, and often is, tax-free. The other part of it is buying property is always beneficial from a leverage viewpoint over the long term, because you're able to borrow money and get access to a higher value asset in the short term if you hold it for a long period of time. So with interest rates having increased rapidly and property prices through the roof, it can be challenging to work it all out. And there isn't a one-size-fits-all approach to making sure you buy your own home and retire without debt. For some people, it's about a downsizing strategy, so selling a long-term family home to buy something of a lower cost. For other people, it's about how do you balance the contributions to super versus paying down the mortgage and getting that split right. So there are many different ways to approach it. So if you are thinking about how you might approach this, then please do speak to your advisor, because we're here to help you through that challenge. So I know it's hard to buy a home, but it's worth it. Your future self will thank you when you get to retirement.